Mike Iaconelli back out here in the shop. I've got a good topic for you today, and we're going to be talking about creature baits and the top 5 ways to rig a creature bait. Let me start by talking to you a little bit about what is a creature bait. What does that mean? And a creature bait is basically what I call a hybrid plastic. It's part worm, part crawl, part lizard, all rolled up into one. A lot of different companies sell a version of the creature bait. They usually come in multiple sizes, and for sure, this is one of my favorites. This is a Berkeley Power Bait Power Hog. Comes in 2 sizes, and show you this one, give you an idea of what we mean when we say creature bait. First thing you're going to see is creature bait is bigger, it's usually fatter, and it has tons of appendages to it. Arms and tails and legs. If you look at this one by Berkeley, it's got 4 little arms on the side. We've got 2 big flappers, and the action's locked in. So on the Berkeley bait, you just rip those apart, and then it's got 2 really big curl legs below those big thick flappers. So when you look at the bait, it looks like a creature. It's kind of crazy. But this thing is phenomenal because of all those appendages. It's going to have a bigger action. It's going to have more movement. And most of all, it's going to be a bigger presence. It's a bigger, bulkier package in the water. So with what we're dealing with right now, warming water, post-spawn, summertime, that's when you want a bait like that. That's when you want more action. As the water gets hotter, you want more action with the bait. If you want a bait that has a little bit slower fall, it's another great option. And last but not least, because it's so big and bulky, when your forage is bigger, this is a great mimic to that forage. Okay, so that's a creature bait. Once again, a lot of different brands. The Power Hogs, the deal. 2 sizes, the 5-inch and the 4-inch. Now I want to talk to you about one of the reasons I love this bait is how versatile it is. And we're going to go through 5 rigging methods for this bait. Let's start with probably my favorite rigging method and also the most basic, and that is Texas rigging a creature bait. And you know, the Texas rig, again, real basic rig, is a weight stop or a bobber stop. It's a tungsten weight. This is a VMC, anything from 1/8 to a 1/2 ounce. And because these baits are bigger and bulkier, you want a little bit bigger hook when you're rigging it Texas style. And I'm going to use a 4, or in this case, a 5/0 VMC heavy duty flipping hook. And because that bait's so bulky, when we rig it Texas style, you want that bigger gap in that hook to compensate the thickness of that plastic. So Texas rigging, and Texas rigging is great when you're actually throwing it to visible cover. So when I'm pitching it to wood or docks, or I'm flipping vegetation like lily pads or hydrilla or milfoil, I'm going to Texas rig it. So method number 1 for rigging for a creature bait is Texas style. Method number 2, probably my second favorite way to rig a creature bait, is on a Carolina rig, the old ball and chain. Once again, Carolina rig, so simple. It's a weight. This happens to be a VMC tungsten barrel weight with a small bead, 8mm plastic bead, a barrel swivel, and then a length of leader. And what a Carolina rig does, it allows you to drag around on the bottom and have this creature slowly floating behind it. Once again, the great thing about a creature, it's a bigger, bulkier bait with tons of action. Think about that on the Carolina rig. Perfect. You want something that's bigger and bulkier, slows the fall, but you also want something that as you drag it, because I'm dragging a Carolina rig, you want something with tons of action. And look at the tails on that CreatureBait, that Berkeley CreatureBait. So Carolina rigged is method number 2. And for when you're fishing non-specific cover or targets, right? This is the way I'm going to rig it. I'm fishing out on a flat. I don't know where the cover's at. I'm fishing off a long point. I'm trying to find a little patch of grass. Perfect rigging method.